It is my strong and sincere hope that we will be able to review the outstanding restrictions and allow a more significant return to normality from November at the earliest, possibly in time for Christmas.
A Tiggerish Prime Minister, always keen to focus on the upside.
So as we see it, cases are increasing, hospitalisations are following, deaths unfortunately will follow that, and there is the potential for this to move very fast.
Now, a change in mood as the government's most senior scientists issue gloomy warnings. And this evening, formal recognition that the virus is on the march again. The COVID alert level, which measures the spread of the virus, was moved from level 3, where it is in general circulation, to level 4, where transmission is high or rising exponentially. In one of the most significant days in the UK's response to coronavirus, the Prime Minister will announce a series of new measures in England to control a resurgence in cases. All pubs, bars and restaurants will be obliged to close at 10 p.m. from this Thursday. To avoid mingling, they will also be required by law to offer table service only. Matt Hancock explained the government's thinking.
The strategy to suppress the virus whilst protecting the economy and education is the right one. And I think that in so doing, it is important to act fast so as not to have to act bigger later.
But unease amongst senior Tories.
Given the huge consequences of this virus for people in our communities on their mental health, particularly the younger generation who are paying a very heavy price, can I say to him that given those regional variations and in the full knowledge of all the pressures that he is facing, I do not believe the case for further national measures has yet been made.
The day started with what was described to me as a sulphurous atmosphere amongst Tory MPs in the tea room. One told me that letters calling for the Prime Minister to resign would be filed if he heads towards another national lockdown. By this evening, the atmosphere had improved as it became clear that another full national lockdown is not yet on the cards. But members of the Prime Minister's circle are clear. We're back to where we were in February and March, I was told. If we move quickly, that reduces the chance of having to come in hard. A senior backbencher wants the Prime Minister to take a balanced approach.
There just simply has to be a balance. We can't trade lives tomorrow to save lives today. Yes, we need to meet this virus head on, but actually we need to understand that if you want to have first world public services such as the NHS, you need a first world economy that can generate the wealth to pay nurses and doctors, to pay teachers, but also to fund their pensions and keep people employed.
Happier times as we were encouraged to eat out for the nation. Now, caution is the watchword.
Well, that was Nick Watt. Let's catch up with Nick now. There does seem to be a slight mismatch, Nick, between the fanfare of the announcement that we're expecting tomorrow to the nation and the measures themselves, which we've now learned are fairly low-key, fairly moderate. Has something changed?
Yes, so the drama of tomorrow, there'll be a television address by the Prime Minister to the nation at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. That sort of feels like what we had in March. And March obviously was a full national lockdown when he made that statement to the nation. This is not a full national lockdown, much to the relief, it would appear, of the Chancellor Rishi Sunak and a number of Conservative MPs. Now, I'm told that there will be some more announcements on top of what we've been briefed this evening. Both the Daily Mail and the Daily Telegraph are reporting that the Prime Minister will be sort of dropping his back to work message. The Daily Telegraph is saying it's not quite that straightforward. It's going to say things like, if you have the blessing of your employer and it makes sense for your business, then yes, you could work from home. But tomorrow, very much choreographed. We saw those messages from the chief scientist today. Then tomorrow, the Prime Minister meets the Cabinet. He'll make that statement to Parliament. Then there's going to be a meeting of the Cobra Committee, and that will have dial-in from the First Ministers from the devolved administrations around the UK. I'm told that the sort of the key message they want to get over is to reinforce the existing message. That's the hands, face and space message. Then enforce existing measures and essentially say, look, it's the last chance saloon. You've got to obey these rules. If you don't, we will have to, in the near future, have more draconian measures, which we don't want to do because, of course, they would damage the economy.
So in your piece, you talked about the mood in the party. Has this allayed some of those fears now? What sense are you getting?
Well, you could see the mood calming down this evening. There are lots of votes tonight on the Brexit bill, calming down this evening as it was clearly not going to be a full national lockdown. But this is a difficult period for Boris Johnson. And I have to say, talking to MPs, backbenchers and ministers today, confidence in his premiership is beginning to ebb away in the Conservative Party. There are concerns over the way that they introduced the plans to break international law on the Brexit withdrawal agreement. All sides of the party not happy about that. Mixed messages on COVID. I was talking earlier today to one MP who's been a big supporter of Boris Johnson, and this MP, a backbencher, said to me, where is he? Where's his leadership? I don't think he'll survive this Parliament. And interestingly, some ministers are saying that. They don't think he'll survive the Parliament, and they're thinking, what does that mean for them?